This is the second video for division. In the first video we talked about teaching students what is division, giving them lots of hands-on opportunities to practice separating objects into equal groups and making that relationship between multiplication and division known to students so they can use that to solve their division problems. In this video, we're going to be talking about TEKS 3.4K and 3.5B. These are your readiness TEKS for division. So, third graders have to solve 1- and 2-step problems involving division, and it says within 100, using strategies based on objects, pictorial models, including arrays, area models, and equal groups, properties of operations, or recall of facts. And then 3.5B is our representation TEKS. So they have to solve and represent 1- and 2-step multiplication division problems within 100 using arrays, strip diagrams, and equations. Okay, so as we started off the last video for multiplication, we're going to make sure we revisit the big old keyword page here. We are not using keywords. We're not teaching students that any word, even the word each, that any word tells students which operation they should use to solve problems. Remember, we are focusing on students really understanding the problem, comprehending the problem, and being able to figure out the action in the situation. So for division, that action is we're breaking into equal groups. We're taking a total and breaking it up into equal groups. And students should, I would start talking to them about this action the week prior before you get to word problems. So every time you do a problem with students, boys and girls, what are we doing? We're breaking into equal groups. What is division? It's breaking into equal groups. It's the action of breaking into it just over and over and over again. So when they get to problem solving, it'll be easier for them to understand the difference between multiplication and division because they've been hearing it all along. Okay? Students, one thing to know is that the dividend is for the problem has to be within 100, but the problem may not be limited to division facts. So, for instance, they may do 48 divided by 4 in a problem. But when they do that, most likely they're going to give students pictures of those 48 items, base 10 blocks of those 48 items, so that students have a way to use what's on the paper that's been given to them to solve that 48 divided by 4. What I have seen is when they actually have to solve it without any type of picture or model there for them, it's usually been within the basic facts of 10 times 10. So if it's 36 divided by 6, they would know, well, I can use 6 times 6. So the answer is 6, okay? So, but it can be, it does not have to be a basic fact. So make sure you're giving them problems that are outside of the basic facts that they can use pictorial models to help them solve. And then, of course, make sure they get that basic fact practice as well. As I said, they may be given objects to solve problems in the beginning when you start working with them. They can use pictorial models. They may see arrays. They could see 24 divided by 6. So they may see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they may see this array. Right? That may be an array that they see, and that is 24 divided by 6 is 4. Okay, so they could see an array for division. They could see an area model, course equal groups, and using the recall effects. To represent, this may be one way a problem is represented. Remember, if you represent division with a strip diagram, so if I'm doing this problem, 24, that the parts have to be as close to equal as they can make them, right? So whatever this is, so this is 24 divided by 6, what number would be in each one of these, right? Because I'm separating into equal groups. Students also will have to represent using the equation as well. All right, make sure students not only are creating strip diagrams and these pictorial models for problems, but also make sure that you're giving students the problem with multiple strip diagrams or a gallery walk around the room where they have to pick the best model representation, either equation, strip diagram, array, that goes with that problem, because that is what they usually see on a test. They don't actually create the model themselves on a test. They actually have to look at a representation and say, does this representation match the specific problem? All right, as usual, kids are with these division problems are going to be using QtPack to solve. There's a whole separate QtPack video for you to watch if you need more information about QtPack. Make sure too, when kids are doing division problem, this is now the time to bring in all the other operations. We want to do word problem sorts so students can determine if it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. We don't want to do a page that just says division word problems because that doesn't help us. Because once again, the mistake students make is picking the wrong operation to do. So we want to make sure we're doing sorts where they may not actually solve the problem, but they are actually just sorting them by their operation. We can match problems to the representations, but we do want to include all the operations at this point now that we've taught all 4 operations this year. Okay, take a look at your instructional talk page. As always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns.